So what is it like to travel with kids 24/7 in an RV? I guess another great question too is why would anyone want to travel with kids for extended periods of time?
We're Marissa, Nathan, Hensley, and JJ. We sold our house in 2015 and moved into an RV full-time to live a life of less junk, more journey. Life is a journey. Let go and get going.
So we're leaving the cold weather in Tennessee to head south to warmer pastures in Florida. We've opted to do some night driving with the kids. Going through Atlanta is a lot easier late at night. After pulling into a Walmart parking lot for some sleep, we continue driving south, make it across the Florida border, and head east toward Jacksonville, Florida, where we're currently doing some driveway surfing with our good friends Scott, Rachel, and Honor, where it's like 20 degrees warmer than Tennessee and it's glorious. If you guys are like us, you know, and you go on vacations, the kids are there, and it's like sometimes a vacation doesn't even feel like a vacation. And I remember probably the best example of this, because we have looked into like overseas travel, and I was doing some research on Europe and taking kids over there. And one of the blogs I was reading said, let me give you some advice on going to Europe with the kids, what you do. First, you get in your car, you put the kids in the car, you take the kids to grandparents' house, you drop them off, then you get on the plane, and then you go to Europe. So I think that's kind of the mindset, maybe whether it's Europe or it's like just going to the West Coast in the US or traveling somewhere, you know, Canada, anywhere. It's like, man, it could be so much more easier. And maybe you're thinking maybe it could even be more fun if the kids aren't there. What do you like the most about traveling in an RV?
Well, you get to go places where you can see your friends.
Yeah? What's the hardest thing about living in an RV?
Well, the fire alarm goes off when you cook bacon.
Yeah. And we're not here to lie to you and say, hey, RVing with kids or travel with kids long term, like, it's the same as it would be if you were just a couple. There are definitely moments that are tougher. There are definitely moments that are less enjoyable with the kids. But there are also those moments where it's just way more enjoyable with the kids. And it's almost like life-changing seeing it through their eyes and experiencing it through them. And it's like, man, you think it is so worth it to do this.
Good morning, sweet boy. JJ says, I see the grass. I see a house. JJ.
Trade you. There you go.
It's as good as JJ's cereal. Clothes with kids. I like to keep both their summer and winter on hand because we do have so many different temperatures everywhere we are, so I like to have everything on hand. So this is their closet here, and it's become harder as Hensley's gotten older because she loves clothes and dresses now. So, JJ, all I hear is you screaming, buddy.
Kids are going to be kids, even in an RV.
We also have their drawers here, so we keep everything kind of organized and rolled. All right, Hensley, which dress are we going to wear today?
It isn't a dress.
So you're wearing that. Thank goodness for a washer and dryer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that going to be you today?
JJ.
Wait a minute, that's not you.
I choose my clothes later, what I'm gonna look like.
Oh, yeah. So we debated, and I've never done one of these with an RV. I'm like, I do not want to do the bike rack. I like keeping them inside, out of the rain, where thieves can't see the bikes and things like that either. But with this layout, with what we've currently got with the short bed dually, this just worked the best for this situation. We do still have the fold-up bike in the front bay, but we don't get it out nearly as often as the other stuff, and so it's not as big of a deal to have it in there. We got this Swagman hitch, which is meant, I learned you need to get a hitch that is meant for being behind a fifth wheel. You can go out, eTrailer.com does a great job. They have a whole list of these, and there's actually not a whole lot of them that work, especially like 3-bike ones and 4-bike ones and all that kind of stuff. But you need to get a hitch that can withstand. This is a lot of bounce on the back of the RV. You don't want a regular bike hitch. You want one that's made to do this, that's super heavy duty. And I've kind of taken the approach that, you know, we just got like Walmart bikes. So I have just greased the snot out of them. I've got like this anti-rust stuff sprayed all over them. Yeah, they're out in the elements quite a bit. We're gonna hope they last a little bit longer with that, because I could get a bike cover, but they rip, they tear apart, they drag, It's just one more thing to mess with, so we're going without the cover. We're just trying to protect the bikes with some spray. That's been our technique. You be taking for a bit?
Yes.
All right.
Go, Daddy.
Come here, buddy. Come here. There's a lot of tag teaming with this. Oh, Hensley, look at that. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You guys want to play in here until Mommy gets done? So we'll show a few gadgets, a few things we love. RV.
Yay!
What you got?
Yay!
Wow, is that a submarine? Like Legos is way up there on the list. Yeah? They're so versatile. We got these bags that you pull the drawstring and they just sucks all the Legos up instead of being all over the floor all the time. And then what we've also done, in addition to like swapping out these bags, because we keep one of these here and then the other one is either outside, or if it's raining like today, kind of drizzly looking, we just keep it under the bed right here. But these are super versatile because we can do this with them. Legos are used in the shower at night as like play toys for the kids when they take a shower or a bath. What's this? What's the fish say? And that's really our tactic, and one of the things that's probably a big difference from a house is in a house, you've maybe got room to have all the toys out at one time, versus here, what we've decided to do is we keep everything, you know, we have some crates underneath and stuff like that too, but we have these boxes. Once I kind of get tired of what's in the area, then we swap these out with what's under the bay in the RV, because we just don't have room to keep all the toys in the RV and all the books in the RV. But we do have some storage under the RV, so you're utilizing all that storage, and it is more work to move things around, but it's better than only having the limited space you see right in front of you. It's like a good combination of being able to have multiple new toys for the kids to interact with, and at the same time not have to keep all those toys in one small space and just clutter everything up. And most all the toys we buy for the kids, like we want to spark creativity, which is essentially what we're doing on the road, is we're trying to spark creativity in our kids instead of them maybe passively being told things or absorbing. You know, they are absorbing things still, but we want them to be creating and providing value. So Legos are big for that. We've got Play-Doh, we've got blocks, we've got lots of arts and crafts. Like, it's all about exploring, all about creating, all about just getting out there and making things happen. Num num. What, are you gonna eat your animals now?
You my trainer. Keep going. Because we travel, you can have gym memberships, but for us, just we have our kids 24/7, and it just makes it easier to work out from home. And I think one of the things I realized was I am not the best parent I can be if I don't get my workout in. But it's definitely not easy. A lot of times they're crying, crawling on you. I'll have to stop. Nathan and I try to schedule it out and switch. We try to work out during nap times or whatever we can fit in that works for your schedule. But definitely that piece of advice has really helped me, that it's just makes me so much better when I get it done.
Now, I promised you guys I would tell you what I learned and what we figured out as far as like auto leveling and un-auto leveling and hitching up and all that. And this is what I've learned. This is the best way we've seen to do it. So Lippert actually has a One Control app. Lets you control a lot of stuff. The awning, the lights within the awning, and the slides are one of those things, which I use the buttons inside for that because I like seeing it inside. But if you had to be outside bringing a slide out to make sure it didn't hit a tree by yourself, that would come in handy. But this is what's most helpful to me, is as far as the leveling. So it's called the Level Up Leveler. Auto hitch, start, auto hitch. It's gonna kind of undo everything we did when we leveled. Hopefully get this thing ready to roll and not have it do downward dog on the front. Prepare for hitching. It's acting like it's done, but it doesn't look like it's actually done. I don't want to do auto retract jacks. Manual level. Let's try that. Do the back. So I don't know why it's like this. I'm having to manually bring up the back, but it's going. The app's nice though, because you can sit outside, you can watch, you know, which one of these, when you're inside, like you're blind, you don't know which one of these is coming up unless you get your wife on the phone, and we need all hands on deck. She's got the kids somewhere. I'm gonna hitch up, and we are Orlando bound.
So while we travel, we try to make the most of our time on travel days. Hensley is doing some schooling in the car. We've been using The Good and the Beautiful. I love this curriculum. It's been so good and easy to follow. It tells me what to say. Hensley's catching on really, really fast with it. Sometimes we do get a little car sick trying to do our school back here or do activities. So the kids do get screen time at times. Just because if you've traveled with kids, it's like, you know how it is. But we do try to do some other arts and crafts in school. And JJ, you doing your school? Traveling with kids is about having lots of activities and different activities. We have dry erase boards that we color.
iPad.
She does like that. Are you tickling the monster? These interactive books are great because we've got like a whole library of books on their iPads, and they read to them and they can push the pictures, and obviously JJ thinks it's hilarious.
So we've made it from Jacksonville to Orlando, and if you didn't see a lot of footage, actually probably any footage of us setting up the RV, it's because it was a pretty typical setup day after 5-ish, what you guys are doing the math saying it shouldn't take 5 hours from Jacksonville. It didn't take that long, I guess. It felt like 5+ hours. It was close to get here, to get in the park, to get set up, the whole deal. Definitely over 5 hours by the time we were set up. So it can be some long days with kids, but we chose this campground in Orlando, and specifically Thousand Trails, which we've had memberships off and on, but it's mainly for this reason. So right over there is a giant field, and there are kids in that field. I'm going to say almost 24/7. So if you're retired and you want your peace and quiet,
Maybe not 24/7.
it's not quite 24/7.
They do sleep.
No, they do go to sleep, and they actually do get up pretty late. So if you're retired and you want your peace and quiet, this may or may not be the section of this campground for you, but for us, and for Hensley and for JJ and interaction, because that's a concern I know with RVing, is like, will my kids be social? Will they forget how to talk to people? We have, I don't know if Hensley's ever had an issue with talking to people, even before we started using this strategy of Thousand Trails.
I think our first year on the road, we were actually pretty lonely. And I remember we discovered a family about a year in, and we're like, they do exist. Like, Nathan always called them unicorns, like, we're, you know, trying to find this full-time family. But I think what we've discovered over time is you just have to be a little bit more intentional. And we discovered that if you find these specific like places that a lot of families are camping, it's a really great way to connect, interact, meet new families. The kids get tons of interaction with other kids. And then, you know, we might need to take a little break afterwards and settle back down, because it is like kid overload.
Yeah, they're a little bit like packs of wolves or whatever. Like they're friendly to start with, and then as the time goes on, they get meaner and meaner. We have to go take a break. And we say take a break, like if you go to county parks, city parks, state parks, national parks, you can meet families there, but there's not as many, especially like in the winter. Like this is like the Mecca. There are families everywhere in Florida, especially at these Thousand Trail campgrounds, specifically this one especially as well. So what's work like when you're RVing with kids? Well, it's pretty hit or miss, which honestly a lot of stuff with RVing is hit or miss because it varies so much and things are always moving. For me, my favorite, most productive time to work is like getting up in the morning before everybody else gets up. But even that could be hit or miss. You know, the kids got up early this morning. I only got like 30, 45 minutes of work in instead of an hour and a half I planned to get. Marissa earlier today, you just kind of take what you can get. Marissa worked while JJ was taking a nap, and Hensley was playing outside. You know, some people we know go to the library, some people work in a truck. There's a guy here in the campground who's got a clamshell tent set up, and that's his office. He works from that tent. But I don't know, when I think of RVing with kids and getting work done, because maybe I think like a fair or a carnival with like the game where you've got the ducks that go in like a row and you've got to shoot the ducks and knock them over to get the points. Like in a house, it's like you're still shooting the ducks, but you've got everything scheduled. You got everything in a block, or maybe the ducks are barely moving or something, but it's just not, it's still a tough game, but without the ducks moving, you've got more control. You know where the ducks are going to be. But when you're RVing with kids and you're trying to get work done, especially when you first start RVing, it's like those ducks are just flying across in that game, and you're doing all you can just to hit a duck here or there, get something done. And then over time, maybe it's like the ducks kind of slow down, or maybe you get more bullets, or I don't know how you look at it. But it's like, it does get a little bit easier, but it never gets easy because those ducks are always moving. Things are always changing. New hurdles or new speeds or new things are always happening with RVing with kids that just makes it not as structured and not as predictable, I guess. Sun's going down. Kids are still out there playing. And in case you're wondering, it is pretty hard to see inside the RV while there's still daylight outside. Cook some Chick-fil-A tonight.
Somebody cooked Chick-fil-A tonight. That's what happens when you don't go grocery shopping during nap time, and then you have to take your kids, and then you come home the proud owner of aisle 4, and you end up getting takeout. And I'm not even putting groceries away yet because I'm so hungry. Never go grocery shopping hungry, or you will own half the store when you come home.
Groceries? What groceries? Yeah, back again on the whole love-hate with the recliners. I don't know, there's something about just, I don't know, just putting your feet up and eating some Chick-fil-A, staring at the
Stuff in your face.
Yeah, staring at the groceries that aren't put away. It's just relaxing.
There needs to be a grocery fair.
That would be cool.
When do your kids become grocery fairies where they can?
I don't know. They got something like where they deliver groceries, like Instacart. I don't know if they have like a
That's amazing.
put it away cart or something.
Put it away cart.
Yeah.
$1 million idea right there.
Where are you going?
Out in the field.
Out in the field to do what?
Play.
What do we give you when you go play?
Power on. 5.
Walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie. All right. If you're going anywhere else, call me on the walkie-talkie, okay?
Yes, sir.
Stay where we can see you.
Bye, girl. Would you agree that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but would you agree that one of the hardest things about traveling with kids, especially 24/7, is that you're with the kids 24/7?
I think everybody would get that completely. I mean, we adore our kids, and they're the whole reason we chose to do this lifestyle. They're our motivation. But, I mean, being with anyone 24/7, 7 days a week is a challenge.
Except for me, of course.
Yeah, except for Nathan. I mean, it obviously is very bonding. This experience is just an incredible bonding experience, but some days I want to pull my hair out. We just have to be honest with each other and say, I'm going on a walk, I'm going grocery shopping by myself, whatever that means to kind of get away for a little bit.
It's so much that yesterday Marissa even said, like, just cleaning the RV and put, like,
It was I never get to clean the house, like, without the kids coming behind me and destroying it. So Nathan took the kids to play while I cleaned the house, and it was such a stress reliever, like, cleaning by myself.
So that gives you an idea. Like, that's her preference. Please let me put away
Please let me
groceries.
clean. I look forward to bedtime, and then once they're asleep, I watch them sleep, and I miss them. Like, it's crazy, huh? But you do. You, like, see them sleeping, and they look so precious, and I'm like, oh, I miss them. I can't wait till they wake up.
I don't
But then when they wake up, I'm ready for them to go back.
No, I don't do that. So I'm like, okay, they're asleep.
You've never watched them sleep.
I'm not going to say I've never watched them sleep. But then once it gets dark, you can totally see everything inside the RV. We usually put the blinds down at night. Our nighttime routine with the kids varies, but it's just a combination of them continuing to get out an insane amount of energy. Yay, JJ! Oh! Tick off! Tick off!
This is the way the Cowboys went. EFG.
And us just basically chugging along, just trying to make it through the night. Right? So why would anybody want to travel with kids 24/7? For us, it's not so much that it's the simplest path, but it's the path that gives us the best chance of making memories that last a lifetime. And I know I think back to Or maybe if you think back to like when you were a kid, what do you remember the most? For me, it's when we went outside of our normal routine, our normal zone. Maybe it was a vacation or a trip or just something where we made ourselves a little uncomfortable, did something new as a family. And then I remember those things, those memories were made.
I think what we realized is just the more you step out of your comfort zone, the more you do things that are hard are the most rewarding. So I love that we get to do this adventure as a family, and I'm glad we took that leap of faith and gave it a try, and we come up with 100 excuses of why not to do it, but in the end we thought we just wanted a life of no regrets, and we absolutely have no regrets on the memories we've made as a family and all the things we've got to do with our children. And yeah, it's exhausting. We're exhausted. We don't regret a minute of it, and I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to do this with our kids. Our biggest regret is that we didn't know about this lifestyle sooner. We started this lifestyle when Hensley was 1. She is now going to be 7 soon, which is crazy. And then JJ was born on the road. So I feel like we've done all different combinations of little tiny baby on the road versus toddler, and so it's just crazy to see our journey evolve.
Yeah, and if you want to see some of that journey and how it's evolved, we've got a playlist about RVing with kids, some of the highs, some of the lows, some of the pros, some of the cons, because we have definitely, in putting ourselves in these uncomfortable situations, we have documented some of that for you guys. So you don't have to make the same mistakes, or you can kind of see what's coming up, or you can see if that's for you or not for you. Definitely check out that playlist. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna watch him sleep just a little.